Well, here it is, 9:30 at night, and we had to run to the Wally World to grab some poster board so that we could mock up all this backseat pans and get it right. So this is definitely part of it that sets me back and keeps me awake longer at night, I guess, having to run out and get stuff. I got a little done. I've got to go inside and go to bed. It's midnight. Took the poster board. Got everything laid out back here, so I think that's how we're going to cover everything up basically. Roll it, and then right here, after we get the aluminum put in here, then we'll come back and make a template that comes up over that bar and around it and kills into this one. You know, have to use cardboard, tape all that out, and then cut that so it matches and extends the trans tunnel. Like, I know that bar ended up being up a little bit, but we'll cut it where it arches over all of that, and then fill in, you know, right here with silicone as we go around that curve. Probably have it where it is removable. I don't know. Haven't 100% figured all that out yet. I just need to get the sheet cut. We're gonna come down off of the rear speaker deck. We put this back in. You know, it's hollow underneath it, but we'll come off of here, and we'll have an aluminum plate that probably comes under here, maybe, or something, either under or on the face. It'll probably come under, and then we'll have a strip of corner iron. I mean, not corner iron, a 90-degree aluminum that's riveted to this arch, so that basically you can nutsert, you know, a piece back here that will cover up to separate the trunk from the compartment area. And then all you would do is just unnutsert this piece, unbolt this piece off, and then you could unbolt your floors and take your floors out like that in 3 pieces. And then this also will get nutserted in back here, so you could take your back window out and then undo that. Yeah, that's where we're at. And I think not having the quarter panels or the factory quarter panels go all the way down to here like the interior pieces, it'll just clean it up, because this will just be a straight lip through here, and you know, our wires can just disappear into our aluminum panel. So I think it'll just be cleaner, and then of course I can, you know, paint them, and I'll probably make them extremely thin, like out of that stuff off of the trailer skin. So that's gonna be a wrap for tonight. I'm gonna cut this power off, let this battery charge up, because we've been using the piss out of this battery all weekend, and I'm gonna get back at it tomorrow and see if I have enough aluminum to cut these pieces and start putting it together. I'm not trying to put no more steel back there because I'm not trying to add weight. All right, so back out here Saturday, and trying to get a little done on the car. So pulled the cardboard back out. Got a late start this morning. It was like 10. Boy, I'm dragging, son. Didn't go to bed again last night until like 1 something. So this is the template when it comes out of the car. This is how it looks, you know, notched around your 4-link brackets. That I notched around a brake line, but that's the reason why I noted don't cut that out whenever I do it. So when you do these templates, if you're not familiar, you know, get you some cardboard and just start laying your main sheets out. And then, you know, a lot of this stuff you're just going to have to piece together with multiple pieces, you know, kind of fill it in. Like, you can't, I mean, you can see back there just how everything is overlapped and pieced together. That is where I had it taped to the 4-link. You know, like, instead of trying to figure it all out at once, like, I had cut this out, and then I had put another little piece here, butted it up against the floor and the wall, and then just taped it on where it went. So maybe that'll help you, because I know some people struggle with fab work and laying out things. Like, when we do this, we don't do it with just one shot. Like, you know, we don't just keep cutting and trimming and trimming and trimming until it's perfect, really, or I don't. You know, what I do is, if I need to get up tight to this corner and I've got a lot going on, you know, say I think I just need a little bit trimmed off, I might come all the way back here and just cut this whole thing out, and then take me another piece and, you know, or let's see here, let's show something. You know, let's say your edge right here, for instance, you know, let's say you got a 1/4 of an inch gap here and it's tight there, or let's say it's too tight. Let's say you think you need to take 1/4 inch off here, and it's hitting, it's hitting here, so it's too tight, but not 100% how much you take off. So if you think you only need to take this, this much off, I go ahead and take this much off, and I just take the whole thing off, cut the whole thing off. And then what I do is I come in with another piece, and then I'll butt it up. I'm just gonna go extreme here. I'll butt it up against the item like that, and then I'll just tape it back over that. Perfect. Then your edge is perfect, because you can adjust this in and out or turn it like this, whatever, and then you can just tape it together, and you know exactly what it needs to be. So if you're struggling a little with the layout or fab work or building panels, that's how you do it. Just keep you some little, that's what all them scraps in there for, is they're just little corners and stuff for filling back in. Like this one right here, I didn't know exactly how high my height was, so I literally cut it way up here. And then I took me another little piece and slid it down till it butted it up and taped it. Perfect, done. Nice and fast. That's the name of the game with this stuff. So I forgot to mark I roughed out my arch. I very just roughed that so that I could just get it, but I forgot to do that. So that's where the corner of my trans tunnel is. And as you can see, I still made a mistake and didn't get that. So once the aluminum's in, then I will finalize that curve and that shape with the aluminum, not with the cardboard, because stuff moves around and I want that to be very precise, since two pieces, since there's gonna be another piece basically like this, a trans tunnel, something like that, but way bigger. A trans tunnel is gonna be killing into this. So yeah, we found center. So I had already marked center when it was in the car. That's the center of the trans tunnel. And then when I got it out the car, I measured this. This is the trunk side, and found center. So now we're gonna draw a center line, cut this in half, and this is gonna create our left and right panels. So I'm gonna get that laid out, see if I even have enough aluminum or metal here at the house to even go ahead and cut these panels. I might not, and if I don't, then I'll have to move on to painting and building like the skeleton of it, the little pieces I need to put stuff in, and doing nut certs and stuff, and then that might have to wait till next week. All right, so we got our frame in, the main part of the frame. So all I did was took a aluminum 90, put across there, just add a little bit of support, and then put a piece of flat stock this way, to just so that the center of where we're gonna cut the panels in half, that way we'll have something to either rivet it or nut cert it to it yet. I haven't decided. I think I'm just gonna rivet all of this in and make it where it's not really designed to come out. I mean, you could drill out the rivets if you need to take it out, obviously, but that way I can just go ahead and silicone around all of the perimeter and have it 100% sealed up tight, because there's really no points in putting nut certs in it and then siliconing all the perimeter to make it airtight and having nut certs in it, because then you got to rip all the silicone, or it takes a little bit of pushing and pulling to get it out when it's siliconed in. So what I've done is transferred my cardboard templates. I cut them in half, just like we talked about. Went right down the center, cut a left, cut a right, and then transferred it onto some scrap aluminum I got. And then I have took my scrap aluminum and I'm working on my first piece right now. This is bent. I did not bend this. This was bent when I bought it. I bought damaged aluminum at the metal yard, but I have put it in here and working on a bend. This is the same bender I reviewed in the wing video. So if you want to know about that Harbor Freight bender, check out the wing video, type in Comet Wing, probably search my channel for Comet Wing, or just go to the 74 Comet playlist, scroll back, and you'll see like 3 parts on building that wing, how we put all of the radiuses, we put the bends in it, we did everything on that. We did it right here with this bender, built it right here in this garage, built that whole wing. So we're using the bender again. It just barely worked. It's just pure T luck. I mean, you can see how tight I am on both sides, but when you cut that piece in half, you can bend it. So we need to get that bend right here where that 90 is, because basically our aluminum comes out here and then dips down, and then it's going to roll a little bit more, but the front's going to kind of more roll. I can just, I think, bend that by hand, but I wanted this bend all the way across it sharp, so it looks, you know, it looks decent. And, you know, like I said, it helped out, split it in half. So what I've done is to try to find that angle roughly. I mean, you're going to rivet it down anyway, so it'll pull itself down, but all I've done is took a scrap piece that I cut off and just laid it over that hump right there and just bent it so that it sits on there. And then I'm just going to roughly eyeball this. Let's see, I haven't even checked this yet, but we're just going to lay this up here and roughly check to see if the, you know, distance between there and there is about the same. And I mean, you can see how flexible it is. So that one's gonna bend pretty good. And then this one is, well, let's take this piece off. I think this is messing me up. Yes, so this one will bend. This one will bend pretty good. So that's gonna look good, and it will have a nice, you know, uniform bend down the center. I was working with thinner aluminum, not super thin. I did not use the stuff off the trailer skin because that was just gonna be too thin, but I also, you know, didn't use something too thick. So I had some pieces laying out there, that stuff right there. But that's the same stuff that I used to build parts of the wing. And in the Comet section, you can see some of the bends in the wing, how it's, you know, bent down on the edge and all that stuff. In the Comet section, we were talking about how it had originally tore, where I bent that 90 on the end of the wing originally, and then I changed my design. If you go back and watch the videos, and some of the comments were that it tore because the metal was not designed. It was like a hardened aluminum versus a softer aluminum. So I went with this so it was soft, you know, and it bend easy. And all I'm gonna do is get all this in. I got Clecos now, so I'm gonna Cleco everything in where it looks good. And then once I get everything where it looks good, I'll take it to CRC, to the paint shop, and we will dolly the edges, we'll grind the edges, you know, we'll do all that, and then we'll sand everything and we'll paint the top sides that's you're gonna see inside the car. All right, so we got the one side put in, temporary held in with the Clecos. We have not drilled all of our holes. All I'm doing is just test fit and everything. I don't want to go through and drill a bunch of holes and have to change something. So when we pull it back out, we've got minor things to do, such as like trim right here on this Sharpie line. You know, so mark that. And I went ahead and bent the underside extreme, so it should be like this, but instead it's like folded back like that. So what that allows me to do is when I get underneath there, I'll be able to clamp that forward to the cross member and then rivet it from the bottom side. This side right here won't get nothing. It will probably just be silicone in, or I'll put a little 90-degree tab back here to catch that up on the tub. I'll build a 90 that I bend in more like, you know, a 45, so that it rivets to the tub, and then it will rivet across the top right there. And then that will just get siliconed down the side to the tub. So that's what it's looking like right now. I'm gonna take a few minutes break and then move on to the passenger side one. And then remember, whenever we're done, we still have to do the firewall across the back. And the firewall will definitely be removable with nut certs, so you can get to the back of the burn down tanks and all that stuff. All right, so it is 9:30 Saturday night and I'm exhausted. Last night I went again until like 1:30 before I got to bed. So I'm about to cave out. I've been putting so many hours into getting this car, getting this back end turned back around, so that hopefully all of the rough work, like the grinding and all that crap, was done by Monday. Because Monday I'd like to get back into the cleaning up stage, putting stuff back, finalizing stuff back in the back kind of, and move back forward to some other odds and ends to get ready to go to wiring the following week. So let me show you where I'm at right now. Tomorrow morning we're gonna get back on some a couple other panels that we have to do. And then we're gonna get these panels painted and installed this week. Alrighty, so here we are. We've moved a couple of things. So this time the burn down tubes will come out there and they will mount up nice and neat through the center and go up inside the burn down tube, whereas before they were just kind of ran over here. We built the panel, or I just did the template for the panel that goes up there. So it's gonna have a little cutout for the burn down tubes. They're gonna be mounted down to the tin work. That way that panel just basically, what it's gonna do is it's gonna go under this black looking carbon piece, and through bolt that, the panel will have nut certs in it. And then this ledge right down here will have nut certs, so it bolts in there. So that panel will be removable, that panel will be removable, and then of course our rear window is removable. So you'll be able to take your rear window out, this out, and access the whole back of the fuel cell, the burn down, puke tank, everything. You'll be able to access all of that. Dead space that's right, you know, here between the firewall and that, they'll fit nicely around the tubes. Over here, I still think that we are gonna possibly build some panels that, you know, bolt into the face, basically nut cert in, and then do just the top of the factory trim panel to make it a little easier around all of them humps and everything. But that's where we're at for right now. You know, I want to get the other holes all drilled in here. I got to build the 45 pieces for right here still, you know. But yeah, I wanted to get a lot of the holes drilled, and I still need tomorrow to make that piece that arches over, so I can mark that, so when I pull all this out I can cut that, so that's out of the way of the drive shaft tunnel. But it's coming along nicely. I really like this setup so much better than you know, before. I still have not even been underneath the car to even mess underneath there. I've just literally been working all in here. So I really love how these burn down tubes are going to come out nice and symmetrical up the center this time. And I also like how there's not going to be no dead space in the corners over there. I don't know if y'all ever noticed on my last setup, but there was this weird little box, like the seat kind of boxed out, and it was just lack of poor planning, which I learned my lesson, and this time carried, you know, the panels the full length of the car. So I think the tin work is turning out great. You can see right there, you know, it'll go straight down and bolt up like that. So you'll be able to come in here from the back of the car. You can see we got Clecos in here, just hold it in temporary. So there will be a nut cert. So Allen head bolt here, here, there, and there. And then there will also be Allen heads on the face of this. So you'll just have, let's see here, 6 little Allen heads to take out after you take the window out and you take the whole panel out. And you can see the whole back of the puke tank if you need to unbolt anything without having to climb through the trunk and, you know, act like a monkey around everything. So I think this is going to be way better, but I'm definitely stoked with this. So hopefully, you know, we can get this wrapped up, all this tin work, and get it installed, and then unfortunately put the car back on crib blocks, which I'm dreading because we have to do the paint work on the rear, all of the pieces that we did, and then we have to go up front and do a halfway decent alignment. We're probably gonna run out of time, so we're probably just gonna disconnect the coolant lines for right now to send it to wiring, get oil in the motor, you know, just all them odds and ends. I still gotta order the freaking drive shaft. So really loving this setup though. But that's gonna be a wrap for Saturday night. I've got like 4 or 5 videos to edit, y'all. I'm backed up like crazy with content. So I'm gonna go get some rest. All right, so what we're doing this afternoon is we are going to paint the chassis. All of the work that we did this past weekend, all the grinding, all the bare spots, that little bit that grinded off the rear end, you know, all that we're gonna go through here and touch everything up and get some paint on it. So this is flat black. I wanted satin black, but this is just what the store had when I was up there this weekend. It's the Rust-Oleum stuff. Now I was going to, I was looking at using the chassis and roll bar paint. So a lot of people use that stuff in the rattle can, but the problem with that is then the rattle can just, it oversprays, you know, behind anything, or the overspray gets on behind anything that is behind it, you know. And so I don't know, I'd rather, you know, do that paint, but I don't want to deal with the overspray. So we're just gonna brush it out, you know. That's what I've done on a lot of that stuff back there, is just brushed it out plain nice and easy. So let me get this stuff brushed out. That's what I'm working on this afternoon. The tin work's done. We're gonna take it to the shop and get it painted a base coat, clear coat this week, and then we're gonna get it all installed.